Ready. Stay tuned to bunk bed and the chicken coop. But here's the bunk bed beforehand, all broken down. And I'll try to show you as we go.
So right here, I know I jumped ahead a little bit. I just didn't film. Took me a couple days to figure out a design. I flip-flopped there was the drawer section where the ladder kind of was. And I just couldn't figure out how to make a nest box and what I wanted to do, so I laid it on the ground, moved it around, knocked stuff off. Finally had the idea for my nest box. Removed all the drawers, took out the dividers where the tracks rolled, took all that out, so it had two open sides, one for the roof where you see there, and then the one for the front where the chickens will enter. We'll use those little Rubbermaid square containers for the actual nest box. Put the hay in there, that way you can just reach in, lift them out, dump them in the compost, put them back in with some new hay. Here I'm just laying it down because now that I've got the nest box, I don't really know what I want to do after that. So finally figured it out right here. That's the headboard and the footboard. There's 4 of them, one for each, the top and the bottom bunk. They make perfect sides, as you'll see when it jumps ahead here in a minute. I kind of already have them set up, the 2 sides when it goes there. So that's where you'll join me. I went and bought 4 treated posts basically, and that's the only parts that I purchased because they'll be on the ground, and I wanted to make sure I used treated lumber for that. Anyway, but then you'll see it starting to come together now that I finally got my idea.
Ready. So starting to make shape here. Getting the thing together. Can I show you right here what it's gonna sort of look like? And then of course we'll raise the nest box and put it on, well, we're gonna attach that 2x4, and that'll kind of rest on the weight of the nest box, but we're finding it's getting pretty heavy, so we're gonna wait. We're kind of just piecing it together here, then we'll take it down where it's gonna go and actually set it up. Anyway, right now we're going to, I want to fill in these little areas here with actual wood. I think I'm going to use the drawer fronts. I'm having a little bit of trouble. I thought they would just knock off, but this thing was glued with everything, so it was actually pretty good. It's soft wood, but pretty sturdy, I guess. Having a little trouble getting some of the pieces off, so what I think I'm going to do, and then I'll reuse the sides of the ladder for the roof. I don't even know what's called, whatever. The support here for the roof going across. And then we'll figure out something to do for the door. The door I may have to actually purchase, because what we're going to do is basically have a big open door here that goes basically the whole width and height of it, so that we can just, you know, kind of reach in here and clean everything out. And then on that door will be the actual in and out chicken door. So anyway, getting there. Now I'm just gonna try and deconstruct these drawers. I should be able to take these fronts off, rip them right in half, and cover one side with 3 drawers. There's 3 more drawers inside, and I'll probably use the same thing as that. So a little bit of work to head. A little update. It's not gonna have to chop them here. Actually wasn't very hard. A little bit of a crack here on this side, but that's because I didn't get this bottom piece out all the way. So basically, after taking the staples out, I can slide this piece out, and then that was what was keeping this from knocking out pretty easy. There's just one little dab of glue in the top, so once you break that, it might crack right here, but I don't care, because, you know, it's going just going to go on the side, and it'll be on the inside, so I'll put a little glue on it if I have to. As long as it doesn't crack all the way through on the front, it looks kind of nice still. That's it. So just a few staples to remove with a screwdriver, come out pretty quick, and then slide this bottom piece off, and yeah, takes 5 minutes or so, at least with the first drawer. Thought I was going to have to saw it on the table or the recip, but I'll let you know when I come back if it works fine on the second. So this method seems to be working a lot better. Second drawer went in like 2 minutes. So of course it didn't have the back on it, and some of the staples were. So just a matter of getting the staples out, bunk bed that we're turning into a chicken coop. So we're trying to reuse as much as we can, because I want it to look, actually there's some sentimental value and we didn't want to sell it. So our kids, you know, when they were little, the youngest is 12 now, but they wrote all over it and everything else. Have their signature on it. So when we're all done, we're going to put some natural stain on it so we can kind of preserve that. And, you know, maybe when they come around with when they get older, they'll remember writing on the bunk bed and all of that.
So right here, I'm just showing you real quick how to take those drawers apart. It does take about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how deep those staples were set, to take them apart. But then I end up with pretty much 4 good pieces of wood from each. Eventually, almost all of the pieces will be used on the chicken coop. As I change my ideas as I go, I find places to use them, so I'm glad I did it this way instead of sawing everything and cutting it up. Right now I'm just after the front faces, though, as you'll see in the next few clips, how it comes together to fill in those slots on the sides of the walls.